Tonight's guest is quite simply the master of the musical. He has 1 Oscar,
1 Golden Globe,
2 International Emmys,
3 Grammys,
7 Tonys,
7 Olivier Awards,
and 14 Ivor Novello Awards.
Will he ever give someone else a chance? It's the Lord!
Andrew Lloyd Webber!
Come in, Andrew! Good evening, Andrew! Now, Andrew, we're only a week and a bit away from your brand new musical, The Wizard of Oz. How's it going? Is it all going to plan? Is it on track?
A week and a bit from the first preview, actually.
Yeah.
So, is it on track? Well, it's a little bit more on track than the Yellow Brick Road. No, I'll tell you why. Because the Yellow Brick Road that we were hoping to get done has been bogged down by health and safety.
No way.
Because it was the plan was that it was going to go from Oxford Circus to the London Palladium.
Really?
But at the moment we're doing trial tests in case people slip or something goes wrong.
But other than that, any other crises we should know about? Give us a scoop.
Not really. I was, well, slightly awkward yesterday. I was sitting, just doing my kind of normal thing, just checking the score and everything. And I thought, there's a strange kind of tap on my back. There was a monkey flying over me.
No.
I thought, I'm the producer of this show, but nobody told me there was a monkey going to fly over me.
What's the monkey doing there?
Well, I think he's rather scary, you see, and I think the whole idea... We actually got very scared in the orchestra, I have to say.
OK, well, we look forward to the monkey then.
We do.
Yeah.
You've sold 10 million in advance bookings, the most ever. Does that add pressure?
Look, the one thing about shows is that you never, ever know how they're going to come out. In the end, it'll be down to what happens in March when we open and whether the audience
But, you know, after all your experience, you must have an inkling, mustn't you, when you've got a hit on your hands or not?
I've got an inkling about this one, but I must say, it's pretty good. But you never know. I just want to see it in front of an audience. We're 10 days now from our first preview. Right. Then I see it with an audience, and then I'll know. OK, but we can see from our research, our in-depth research day, can't we, that you've always been destined for great things. Do you remember this? Yes, well, I've got to tell you something.
Come on.
I was unfortunately given a copy of that by Piers Morgan.
Right.
Oh,
it's unfortunate, if you see what I mean.
What? Because what? Somebody's done it before?
Well, because it's been seen.
No,
yes. I don't remember the
before.
photograph being taken, I have to say.
Yeah, but more people watch this show. So for the people that don't watch Piers' show, right, that was you at 3 years old, is that right?
Well, I'm told so, yes. My mum says so.
See, I told you wouldn't like this. I told you we should...
I'm not saying I don't like it. I just think I can't remember playing the violin.
Yeah.
Anyway, right,
Thank God nobody else does.
Now, Andrew, as a former restaurant reviewer, we know you're a man who enjoys his food.
How do you know about that?
Because you wrote for The Telegraph for 5 years.
Well, I'm glad to know somebody reads The Telegraph. It's good. No, there was years and years ago, I just enjoyed writing about food because my aunt was a great cook. And, you know, she passed on a few things.
OK.
Right.
So what do you think of venison?
What I think about venison, I think it's the most fantastic meat.
Great.
People, you know, get a little bit frightened about venison because they sort of think, oh, it's a little Bambi. I remember actually...
That's what I said earlier.
Yeah, well, I remember once I won what is quite an important award, apparently, in Germany, called the Bambi Award.
Wow.
So it was when I was married to Sarah Brightman, and Sarah came with me, and I said to Sarah, we really ought to go just to see what's on the menu. Mm. And I swear to you, of course, the Bambi Award on the menu was Little Baby Deer.
Baby Deer? Well, I'm not sure about Baby Deer, but the Lord may love it. Not everybody's game for game, though, are they, Al?
No, they're not. Also, a dear food critic, J. Ray.
Now, Andrew's new musical, The Wizard of Oz, stars Danielle Hope, the girl he plucked from obscurity to become Dorothy.
Here's a reminder of her miraculous journey on Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Over the Rainbow. The winner is Danielle!
Hi everybody at The One Show from me and Toto, and hi Andrew. It's been an absolute joy working with you over the past few months. Thank you so much for this incredible opportunity and all your wisdom and knowledge so far. When the curtain goes up on opening night, it's going to be incredibly exciting, a bit nerve-wracking, but I'm sure me and Toto will make it through together as a little team.
Oh, exciting times for Danielle. But The Wizard of Oz started off as a play before it became a film, but it was never that successful, was it, on the stage?
It started off as a novel,
right,
and then it became a stage musical years and years ago, in about 1906, and that's a long, long time. And it went to Broadway, And in fact, the author of the piece didn't like the stage musical until he suddenly realised it was a hit. But nobody knows what the music actually was from that, because it wasn't ever recorded or written down. And then again, a couple of years later, or a few years later, there was a silent movie made of it. And then, of course, the famous movie in 1939, when they added in the great Harold Arlen songs, which is, those are the songs we remember.
And you've stuck some extra songs in as well.
Well, one of the things about taking a movie and putting it in the theatre is that you can't just do that. I mean, it becomes, really difficult, because you've got to make it breathe in a different way in the theatre. And we realised, and that's my team realised, that there wasn't a song for either of the witches, there wasn't a song for the wizard, there wasn't a song for Professor Marvel, there wasn't an opening number. And so we thought we should try that. And very amazingly, the people who own the rights to the Wizard of Oz said, you can do it.
That's all right. That's cool with them.
It was.
It's no problem.
Then I asked my old collaborator and friend Tim Rice if he would do the words.
Has he still got what it takes?
No, I think he has. I think he redefines Professor Marvel from time to time.
Wow.
Wow. And Michael Crawford's he's going to be playing the wizard,
He's
is that right?
playing the wizard, yes.
How did you convince him?
I just called him and I said, look, it would be great if you ever considered being the wizard. And he said, fine. He came across, and I think what probably convinced him was that he met Danielle. I'm trying to say this in the best way I possibly can, because I thought that, Danielle's, I think she's very, very special. But I thought that Michael and Danielle would be extremely special if they got on.
Right.
And
Like
Michael, in a way, has, I think, really helped her a lot, because he's the consummate theatre animal, the consummate one. And of course, you've got a little girl there who's just 18, who also, I think, is a consummate theatre animal. But she's getting a lesson from somebody who's very nearly 70 and who's seen the whole thing. And I mean, the guy who played Barnum, Phantom of the Opera for me and everything, it's a pretty extraordinary combination, I think.
And talking about getting the dream team back together, you got Tim Rice, you got Michael Crawford. You tried to get the ex-missus. What happened there?
Well, the ex-missus, she was a bit too expensive. she would have been a great Glinda.
Did you make the call?
Yes, I did. I had dinner with her and said, you should play Glinda. But no, she's just too expensive. But, the funny thing is that, I think it would have been the wrong signal if we'd had Michael Crawford and Sarah Brightman in the same show, because I think people would have suddenly thought, this is very
It would have been a bit phantom.
It might have been.
It might have been.
All right, okay.
I'm not complaining about that.
Well, exactly.
Well, we're talking Andrew, what drives you? You're very driven. You always have been. Is it success? Is it paranoia? Is it insecurity? What is it?
Do you know what? You're the luckiest person in the entire world if you know what you really want to do, which I was lucky enough to know when I was very young. And you're the luckiest person in the world if you can then make a living out of it. And the fact is that I'm going back to the London Palladium tonight, and I'm just going to be sitting there like a child, watching what's happening, probably getting angry or cross or about saying that this is not happening or this is not happening, but it's what I love. And I think that's the answer to the question. Of course, you want to get on, you always want it to be the best. But I just can't imagine my life without musical theatre.
Now, you enjoy being on the telly, being part of your own show, the casting show. And that's not going to happen on the BBC for a while? Is it a hiatus, or...?
Well, I think it's a couple of things. I mean, first, if you're going to do a casting show like that, you've got to have a production that's in your mind.
Right.
When I started with the BBC, I said, look, if we could get 2 or 3 shows out of it, that would be fantastic. In the end, we did 4. And, you think about it, Sound of Music, everybody knows who Maria is, everybody knows the score, everybody knows Joseph, and therefore to cast Lee Mead and Joseph was an easy idea to do in one sense because people knew it. Then Oliver, and that was a good idea, I think, and The Wizard of Oz, yes. But you begin to run out of ideas and productions that can be done, because the difference between the shows that I do and others, in a way, is that there has to be an end game.
But we heard a whisper that you're going over to the dark side, you're going over to ITV. You're not going to leave us, are you? Tell the truth.
I haven't been asked to go to ITV. I have done a couple of programmes for ITV, but they're nothing to do with this.
All right, so you promise?
Okay.
I'm not promising anything. But I haven't been asked to stay here, though.
Okay.
But things could have been so very different, couldn't they? This is an interview your dad did back in 1976 with Joan Bakewell. There it is.
He had an interest in the ancient monument side of things, castles, churches, abbeys. And every holiday, I used to take him to to see these places. We got stuck in lanes, in fields, and I think I got to know every ancient ruin in the country. And we thought he was going into the Ministry of Works. I don't think music is his chief interest. I think it's caught up with the whole dramatic and historical side of life, you see.
See, so you had your dad fooled. He didn't think you would have been into music at all.
Well, my father was a most extraordinary man. He was an academic. He was a young guy who came from a very working class background, who won some of the most major scholarships in really music history in Britain. And he was a fantastic organist, but because he came from the background that he did, he feared hugely what would happen if he showed his more popular side. And I got to know my father, probably a lot better 5 years after that would have been recorded. And I realized then that Dad actually loved the things that I was up to in a way. I think he would have been a fantastic film composer, really fabulous, but it wasn't in his temperament. He could never cope with the idea of, gosh, we're doing a television show now, I've got to get back to the Palladium.
Right.
Wouldn't have been in his, on his radar at all.
All right.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. Yeah, then.
Listen, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much.
Off to rehearsals, go on.
I will.
You're a busy boy.
I will.
Okay.
Do you want me to leave now?
No. Well, you know what I mean.
How long will you be at the theatre tonight? Until what time?
Well, we go on till about midnight, maybe a bit longer.
All right, preview starts 7th of February. Good luck.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good luck with it.